we go. And I'm gonna try the blue light setting this time to see if that will keep it from going crazy. So maybe the yellow just didn't like me. Just looks so strange though. Let's see. Let's see if there's a yellow one that will work. Hey guys. Okay. We're gonna find one that's not super dark. Okay, we'll stick with the yellow for now. I'm not gonna touch my phone. Well, that's hard, but hey, Lori. Because I want to keep up with your comments, but I feel like maybe my thumb got fat. Did my thumb get fat from last time, guys? I feel like when I'm tapping, I accidentally tap something I shouldn't have. See, if this was like Instagram, I could like double tap and then pull up the comment. Let's see if it does that. No. Facebook, you guys see, there it goes again. Oh, I think I know what I did. I put it up. Lori, did you see that? Oh my gosh, it's not even rocket science. If I tap my boob, it goes dark. So that's what I did. I tapped my boob by accident trying to look at the comments. It is a trick question. That's like the perfect question to ask a husband. Like, honey, did my thumb get fat from last week? Are you sure you're telling me the truth? Okay, sorry guys. I literally made that into like a super like NASA level dramatic situation, and all I did was accidentally touch my boob. So now we know. If that ever happens to you on your live, now you know what to do. Okay, so that means I don't have to maybe stick with this yellow light. So let's see if the other ones look better. Do you guys prefer blue, space age, or I think this one's pretty neutral. Okay, I'm so sorry. I missed all the comments from last time. I know there was only like probably like 10, but say hello again so I know who's here, because on mobile it doesn't let me see like it does on desktop. So say hi, drop a comment so I can talk to everybody directly and give you guys some personal attention and love. Let me know who's here. Let me know how your Thursday is going. Lori said she's doing pretty well, but it's already dark where she is, so we know she's on the East Coast. I think Kaylin said she just got out of work. That's the last comment that I remember. I know Priscilla's here. Hi guys, what are you guys drinking? Let me know what you're eating. I'm so excited to get off this live because I have a delicious apple pecan chicken salad waiting for me. So exciting times. Who's the queen of the universe? Is that you? Oh, you're still at work, so then maybe I misread that. Okay. So Kaylin's still at work. Hey guys, okay, so this is our girls' night in. So like I was rambling on about on the last one, we will do this on actual hump day next time. Hashtag hump day. And we will eventually work our way up to to daily. But I like our once a week late night chats here. Yeah, okay, so Lori says she's the queen of the universe. So just so everybody else knows, queen is here. Head queen. Priscilla says it's late, I'm lesson planning, and it's much later than she wants it to be. All right, so most of you guys are multitasking right now, I see. Okay, okay. So yeah, so I think before I accidentally touched my boob and caused a fiasco with my tech, even though it wasn't really the tech's fault, I was saying to go back into the group and go join the threads that we have going on there, because I would love for you to be celebrating yourself, give yourself a pat on the back for anything that's happened in the last week, but it could even be the past month, the past year, 2020, that you haven't given yourself credit for. And it's always nice to do things publicly in that way because, again, like I said on my last live, we are primed as women to not speak up or celebrate ourselves or boast a little bit. So, you know, lady bragging is one of my favorite things to do in my groups and all my community. So I want you to go find that thread and celebrate yourself if you haven't already. Let us know something big or small that has happened or that you did and accomplished. And so we can give you a hug, give you an air high five, and you never know what else you might manifest when you put that type of stuff out into the universe there. So it could be a domino effect if you share it with us here in the group. Also, I posted, what would you be doing with your business if I already put $100 million in your bank account today? So I would love to see if you'd be doing anything differently, if you're running a business, if you're trying to start a business, if you're just kind of stalking and trolling and thinking about it, what would you do differently? Or maybe you wouldn't. I want to hear both sides if you had $100 million in the bank. So this is to kind of go into the topic we're going to be discussing today about self-belief and playing by the rules and having a manifesting mindset and all that good stuff. So Kaylin says, I don't know what's going on for grubs. I haven't used that word in so long. The BF is cooking for me. I always drink coffee or hot lemon. Wait, you drink coffee at this time too? That's very Italian of you. Yeah, I was living in Italy, and that's for sure. They were drinking coffee at all hours of the day, guys. I was getting more non-American by the minute. So, okay. All right, ladies. So so go check out the threads that are in the group. You do. Okay, so Kaylin is a nighttime coffee drinker, so if anybody is the same as her, go meet up in the comments. So go ahead and check out those threads. I've tried to mark some of them as announcements so that you can find them easily, and just go engage with the group. And of course, as usual, if you haven't shared to the actual group wall this week and you haven't introduced yourself, or you haven't shared an update or your progress, if you're in one of the programs or courses, please make sure you share your progress and your breakthroughs. You never know when you might find your next client or customer or BFF or get that personal attention. So make yourself comfortable in our cozy atmosphere, our sisterhood here, and always you're welcome to share. Just don't spam the group. I am removing people today, 2 people that thought they could sneak by me on there. So, and you guys are, I know everybody here on this live knows what spamming means. So just sharing your business and your progress, that's totally fine. But we're not here to try to make your first post all about telling people to go Forex trading with you. What is with these people? Hey, I got some Bitcoin opportunities. Do they really think I'm going to keep them in the group if they go posting about Bitcoin on their first post? And what's crazy is that usually the stereotype is you can tell who's going to do those kind of finance posts by their profile photo. But now I'm starting to see like the really beautiful profile photos of people that you think are normal are the ones talking about, hey, you want to do Forex trading with me? Or Bitcoin investments? It's like, I don't know you, fam. I actually legit do not know who you are, so I don't think I'm going to put my life savings into a stranger on the internet in a Facebook group. Okay, so what did I want to hear from you guys today? I wanted to hear about what is the state of your self-belief. Before I even go any further and dive into this topic, what does that bring to mind for you? How does that make you feel? What's the first thing that comes to the top of your mind when I ask, what is the state of your self-belief right now in this moment? And I know a few of you on here have done our self-talk detox, so you're going to hear me bring up some of the concepts that we did in that 7-day journey. So, or is it 5 days? I keep getting it misconstrued because I added bonus content on there. 5-day self-talk detox. And let me know. So drop in the comments, what's the state of your self-belief? I'm not going to add anything else to that question. I just want you to answer it naturally and intuitively, whatever comes to mind. It can be in life, it can be in business, it can be in relationships. 7-day. Thank you, Kaylin. Because I know I started off with 5, but then I added bonus content. And I wanted to add the body positivity stuff that I promised you guys, but I came back and said, this is a huge issue. I would be doing it a disservice if I tried to just go sneak it into the last day on there. So that's the only reason it didn't go over into 8 days, is because 1 day is not enough time for that subject matter. Okay, so yes, our 7-day self-talk detox. Okay, guys, drop it in the comments. What is the state of your self-belief right now? I'll give you a couple of seconds to answer that, and I'm gonna pop over to the group thread, make sure that I have that up so that I don't miss any of the previous questions that were in the group. What is the state of your self-belief in life or business right now at this moment? How are you feeling about your self-belief? And if you're not used to using that term, because that is the term that I really want to make more common as the umbrella term when we're talking about self-confidence, self-esteem, feeling empowered, just really feeling capable. So the opposite of imposter syndrome. That's pretty much what we're talking about here. And that's totally fine if you have experienced imposter syndrome or you currently are experiencing imposter syndrome in one way or another in work or your career. But what is the state of your self-belief right now? Lori says, I've always been pretty confident and comfortable with myself, but I'm finding it very challenging to have faith in myself as an entrepreneur. That is a very interesting response because, funny enough, like I said on our last live stream last week, you know, we've all gotten to a certain point in life where as an adult, it's logical to think and it's rational to think that, hey, we've made it to third, fourth, fifth decade in life. Obviously, we're capable of so many things or we wouldn't have made it here, right? So it's all about when you start to step outside your comfort zone and do things that are different and new to you, the unknown, the dark abyss, that you start to recede in that confidence level, right? And so what I was saying before in many different ways this past month, because it's kind of a theme, is that confidence is not an emotion and it's not a feeling, it's not a thought, it's actually a skill. So people have confused that. You will feel confident, but it doesn't mean that it's actually an emotion or a true feeling in that way. It's actually... Okay. That was the most random thing. Can you guys hear me? Or see me? I think some of you hopped off, probably wondering if I was abandoning you. Let me know if you can hear and see me before I move on. Hey, Lori. Okay, just confirm that you can hear me. Hear and see. Okay, good. It's so yellow. Oh my goodness. I don't know why this girls' night in is trying to be cock-blocked today. We are not having it. I am resilient. We're staying. Okay, but let's try to not make it so yellow. Well, it's gonna be yellow. Can't help it. Okay. All right, hey guys. Hey. Okay, thanks for coming back. So I'm trying to start to like be observant of why this is happening, because literally 3 decades on the planet, I've never had this happen with my phones. So I'm thinking it's because I've actually never gone live before with my phone plugged in. And I've been plugging it in the last 2 times because I don't want Facebook Live to drain my battery, which I know it does after like the hour mark. So I was trying to be proactive, which teachers taught us is a good thing. That's a good trait in school, they tell you. It's good to be proactive. So I'm not being rewarded for my proactive behavior. So I unplugged it and we're gonna see if that's more helpful to have it unplugged. You guys can still hear and see me, yeah? Okay, so I'm gonna pull up this, oops, that closed. Oh, I didn't realize that I had a YouTube open. Okay, so can still hear and see? Thank you. Thank you guys for bearing with me. So I think that's what it is. I guess that like going live and having it plugged in at the same time makes it overheat. But it's so freaky because it just goes black and then it just says emergency. So let me know if that's ever happened to anyone else. I know that not everyone has a group and they do live streams, but super random, trying to freak me out here and separate me from my people. Okay, so let me see. I'm so glad that it didn't delete it this time though, so I can actually see everybody's comments still. Okay, so I shared what Lori was doing. Oh, it doesn't show the comments here. Oh, it just completely cut the comments off. Okay, so I was in the middle of responding to Lori, which I know probably resonates with everybody else when you are in that situation where you realize obviously you've done things in life that have gotten you this far, but then when you go into the unknown and you're trying something new outside of your comfort zone, what happens, this thing that we call a feeling or a thought or a belief is actually a skill. And so you have to actually realize that so that you know, hey, this is going to come up regardless. Like this imposter syndrome or this fear of failure or fear of success is going to come regardless because it's something new. It's not illogical to have that fear. It's illogical to think that when you do something completely new and you enter a new territory and you travel down a new road, that you wouldn't have that fear. That would be the illogical thing. So if you're here and you're one of those very right brain or very left brain or type A type person, then you can kind of just ground yourself and realize, oh, right, okay, so I always have to expect that. That's be this like fierce and fearless person all the time is unrealistic. That's the part that's unrealistic. It is completely realistic to have resistance and to have fears and to feel stuck, and maybe even to indulge in some of those habits that aren't productive, right? They're counterproductive. So the procrastination and the perfectionism and all of those things. So we're actually going to be talking about how I want to reframe the idea of thinking positive all the time today as well on our girls chat, and just talking about, you know, how you don't have to play by the should do's and must do's in order to continue to have that really powerful and empowered manifesting mind. So while I pull up my homework that I'm going to be giving you guys, I just want to make sure that I can find the comments that I missed, because I know everybody responded and now it's not showing it to me now. Okay, Lori says it only happens when her phone is plugged in while driving and using Waze and on a really sunny day. That seems highly unfair for it not to want to cooperate when the sun is out and being beautiful. Okay, let me see if I can pull up the comments that it refuses to show me right now. Hey ladies, I can see that new people are joining, but it doesn't want to show me everything correctly because we got interrupted here. I'm so sad it doesn't want to show me these comments. How can I open them so that I make sure I don't skip over anybody? Let's see. Do you guys want to copy and paste your comment if you can still see your comment? I think I saw Kaylin. I think I saw Priscilla. Jenna says she's here, but she can't listen with sound because she has a sleeping baby next to her. Oh, but I'm radiating. Thank you. I'm radiating green. I kind of look like, what was the Green Lantern, the one that Ryan played? Him and his 8-pack. 8-pack. He's fine. Married, but fine. Yeah, guys, it's not letting me see your wonderful comments that I saw right before it cut off. I don't know why it's being mean like that. But if you still see yours, I know for sure I saw Priscilla and Kaylin. If you want to copy and paste your comment, the answer to the question that we were chatting about, then please go ahead, because I would love to see what you put, and hopefully after the live I can go back and respond directly. But if you're new and you're hopping on, basically we're asking, what do you feel is the state of your self-belief right now? So if you want to rephrase that, the state of your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your belief in yourself, your adequacy, your capability, just basically the opposite of feeling like an imposter. How is that going for you right now? So thank you guys for joining. I will so promise to have like 2 more tries and never have a tech difficulty again. Priscilla says, I am empowered and capable of achieving my goals. I am stepping into becoming the badass I was meant to be. Very new to this walk in particular, but loving it. Love that. I love that. Yes. Lori says, I always tell people I coach that it's a muscle that you have to work out and train just like any other. Exactly. That's the perfect analogy and metaphor that I was touching on a little bit last time. So basically what I wanted to share first and foremost is, because I was touching on the self-talk detox and just the concepts of that, but you can still, this still adheres to you if you didn't go through the detox, is that I think a lot of people misconstrue not only the concept of confidence and thinking that it's going to be this emotion that you can tap into or just kind of like bring to you at any moment in time, right? It's not a superpower. You can't just like have it come to you. It actually has to be resonant in something in your body and in your mind that actually is there. There has to be some form of organic matter there living in you already for you to bring up and conjure this feeling of confidence when you're approaching something that's completely new to you and otherwise would make you feel resistant, right? Now, there's a little bit of courage. That could be another C word that you could use. So if you were facing something that's completely new to you and you completely unknown, you would have courage to go ahead and just go forth with that, even though everything biologically, everything that's here in like the human world, right? So our brain, our caveman brain, all those things that would tell you, no, 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 we want to keep you in the safe zone. The courage is what you would use to go after that and do it anyway, right? So like giving zero fucks about what people would think, or ignoring the naysayers, or knowing that you truly just want to see what's on the other side of the wall, right? So that you can say, hey, I did it, and you're not afraid of the failure. So the courage is what you would have to muster up in that situation, right? You can't muster up the confidence truly for something that you honestly feel like you're not even ready yet. You're mustering up courage. But once you go ahead and you actually approach it and you do it, no matter if you define it as a fear or success, because those can be subjective or objective. So if you go through it and you gather what I like to call the data, it sounds very like analytical and formal, but you receive data from that because there's going to be a result from whatever you try, right? So you have the courage, you try the thing, and then you receive data in return because you're gonna then use your filters and your belief systems to either call what you did a failure or call it a success. So once you have that, if you feel that what you did was worth it and you learned from it and it was a positive result and you feel like it was a positive experience enough to call it a success, then what happens, you've now triggered this confidence. So you've now attained a new skill because you've done something where you learned a lesson from it, and now you will feel confident to do that again because if you went through the same exact formula. And also, if you don't go through the same formula, if you were to, let's say, do that same activity again, let's say you're trying to run a marathon, or you want to do Facebook ads for the first time, or you want to launch your blog out there and writing in front of like what would be millions of people on the internet is super, super scary, and you've never done that before, you've never done it in this way that you want to do it. You now can feel confident because you know what it feels like to, look at that, and now my backdrop is falling. You now know what it feels like to press publish on that. You know what it feels like to maybe not make it to the finish line of the marathon when you wanted to in the time that you wanted to, but you know what it feels like to have put on the shoes, to get past mile 1, to get past mile 2, and that's when you start to have the confidence. So it would require less courage, but you feel more confident, and that can apply in everything in life, right? So I just want you guys to remember that when you're sitting there and you're feeling like a little bit of an imposter, you have anxiety about something, don't try to pull up the wrong thing. Don't feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not feeling confident when you're trying to do these new things in your life or in your business. Try to feel like you're the kind of person that is almost, you're like a part of the 1% of the 1%, because instead you're trying to pull up courage, and not many people have courage to do a lot of things. They're living what would feel like a mediocre life for themselves. They're living in their comfort zone. They're not going past their couch in many ways, right? Literally and figuratively. So you are the 1% of the 1% if you can muster up courage to do something so that you can gain the confidence so that you can keep doing it, right? Is that making sense for some of you guys that are feeling like, why don't I always feel as confident of these other people, and why is everybody so much more fearless than I am? So it's not about fearless, it's about knowing what logically would be happening with the human brain in a human world, and some of these things are very real, based in real things that exist in our subconscious and our conscious. So I want to make sure I'm not missing any. What is it, retrograde? Like, I got my tech, my whole backdrop just fell. I have no idea what's going on here. If it's a new moon, it's a powerful one. Drop in the comments what I'm missing astrologically, because I have not checked in to see anything that's supposed to be happening outside with the moon. But let me know what I'm missing, because this is one for the ages with all this craziness going on. I've literally also never had a backdrop just fall in the middle. I felt like that should be like a sign, but I don't know what the sign is yet. So maybe it's that Ryan is coming to me because he just heard me talking about him, and I'm gonna get my own green lantern. Huh? Who's with me? Okay, guys. Yeah, exactly. By the way, Jenna, the fact that your baby is sleeping next to you now, I wonder what time zone you're on. Let me know what time zone you're on, because you should have some me time happening soon. I'm hoping if it's evening for you, you have me time coming up. Aw, thanks, Lori. Lori says I'm demonstrating confidence and persistence. Yeah, I mean, what's your biggest fear? That you will totally botch, not your, but like literally in the universal you of doing a live stream, that you would botch your live stream. I've completely botched this live stream, but I have to keep going. And now the next time, when I know that it's going to be super dark outside, literally it was light, and then as soon as I was ready to go on, it turned dark and I had to figure all this out. Could have canceled again, or just gotten embarrassed or scared that my backdrop is not the way that I want it, but I have to keep showing up, and I'll be ready for the next time, and I'll feel more confident about the situation, right? So I also want to talk about this idea of positive mindset, right? So along with this thought about what is confidence, what is it really, what is it truly, what do I need to feel like less of an imposter? I also want to talk a little bit about bypassing your emotions and always thinking that you have to think positively or feel positively, and that's absolutely kind of a myth as well. It's a misconception in terms of having a really uplifted and positive mindset and also having a manifestation mindset as well. It's not actually the fact that you have to be fearless and you have to feel confident and you have to be positive all the time. You are in fact bypassing your own emotions and doing your own spiritual bypassing to yourself if you in fact believe that. So what it is really is that if you want to have this empowered mind to overcome adversity or obstacles or be able to go up against things that feel a little bit uncomfortable and resistant and you're scared, but you know you kind of have to go through that journey anyway, you want to actually go and confront your negative feelings. You want to go and confront those negative beliefs. You don't want to sit there and say, oh my God, why do I feel anxious? Why do I feel depressed? Why do I feel impoverished or broke or just like I'm never going to be financially free? And just try to put a smile on your face, right? And just like go sit and drink and watch TV and hope that an hour later after your favorite, busy show that you'll feel better because you just ignored that feeling or that thought or that belief that popped up and inserted itself in your day, right? It's not about ignoring these things so that you can immediately or as quickly as possible get to the more positive thought or the more positive emotion. That's not actually what it's about. That is going to delay your manifestation. That's going to delay your personal growth and your personal development. And if you're in business, that's definitely going to make you into that person that you see out there, and it might be you right now, that's constantly going up against a wall, going in circles, and revisiting the same stagnation all the time. Who else feels like sometimes they're just like in the same stagnant pool of water? Like they're coming up against the same issues over and over and over again, right? So if you don't want to recognize yourself a year from now being the same person you were a year before, you have to also make sure that you're not bypassing yourself, that you're not trying to always be uplifted and positive and thinking that all the activities that's in your personal development routine is so that you can be this perfected, refined, most positive person all the time. So if you're there journaling every day or meditation or yoga so that you can be a better person or think positively, don't do it with the motive of, okay, I'm hoping that this is just going to make me feel like all my problems are going away. No, make it so that you're using these practices to get closer to your intuition, to feel more grounded so that you can acknowledge these issues that are happening in your life or acknowledge the feelings and the emotions that are coming to you in a way where you don't judge yourself, so that you still have a very strong sense of self-belief, so that you're resilient enough to know what's going on, that you can recognize it, identify it for what it is, and journey through it, not try to go around it and move past it. So I hope that these rituals or routines that you guys are all doing to better yourself or to make yourself a better business person or a better mom, a better friend, that you're doing it in a way so that it's making you stronger and using your tools in a better way to actually identify the things that are coming up, not so that you ignore the things that are coming up. So when I'm thinking about a positive mindset, I really want to change that word. And you know that I usually have vocabulary that I'm trying to, like I have to teach on it, but I don't want to use it, but I know that you guys use it because everybody's in that place where they're Googling and DIYing stuff. So like, for example, the word niche, I don't really believe in niches. Niche, I always say both. So that's an example that I just mentioned on our last call that we had this week, that I don't necessarily believe in it, but it will still be in my vocabulary because I know that's what's out there and that's what's being presented to everybody, and that's what's making them feel like they have to do it, that it's a should do, that it's a must do. I have to figure out my niche or else I'll never figure out who my ideal client is and know where they are and how I can find them. That's absolutely not true. It's just another thing that marketers can put out there to be able to sell you things so that you feel like you're incapable and that you're not good enough yet. Your self-belief is about reaching into your enoughness and being like, fuck no, I'm good enough the way that I am right now. I identify what's really going on here. I know the game. It's for you to feel empowered and to know that you don't actually need to chase after all these things and learn more stuff and figure out more things. It's about reaching inside of yourself and knowing that you are good where you are right now, but what can I identify that's probably trying to hold me back in this safe zone, in this comfort zone that I am in right now? Because let's use that as an example, the trying to figure out your niche. If you literally just believed that the magic pill for success was having the most refined, wholeheartedly figured out, clear vision of a niche before you could have a successful business, then imagine how long you would stay stuck in that belief before you released it and surrendered to it and just let it go and realized that that was never the case to begin with, and you could have been making a ton of money if you just let that go. But because you attach yourselves to these types of beliefs and you attach yourselves like a leech on, just sucking the life out of yourself from this belief, thinking that I need this thing in order to feel like I'm better and I can move on to the next step, like a next level in a video game, that's what's actually holding you back. You're not identifying what's going on. You're just trying to externally solve everything. So you can move much faster in your development and in your success and in your progress if you realize that not everything is external. There's a lot of things that are internal, right? And the more that you can tap into that, the more that you can identify things and actually sit with them. Give yourself time and space to actually sit with these things. The quicker that you can move past all this bullshit that's holding so many minions and drones back, right? Because they don't have the wherewithal to transcend this type of stuff, right? So what I actually like to replace positive mindset with is just low vibrational thoughts and high vibrational thoughts. So that way it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel so sticky, like a sticky scenario to be in when you have to realize, oh man, I'm not feeling positive right now. I'm actually having like this weird bad emotion come up where I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel like I'm worth this price raise that I want to do. I don't feel like I'm worth this promotion. I don't feel like I'm worth this relationship or anything. Just realize, okay, maybe I'm partaking and indulging a little bit in these low vibration thoughts as opposed to saying negative and positive, right? So you would bypass it and I just want to think positive right now. Let me just like move. I don't want to even think about this. Forget about it. Yeah. No, just realize and identify, okay, maybe it's low vibrational to be thinking this way. Let me journey through this and get myself like on a different playing field, on a different level, right? And that also can go to activities as well. So I was listening to some girls realize in the moment that they were gossiping and just being just basic shitty catty women. They caught themselves and they immediately realized how in just a 5-minute period it completely changed their energy, their aura, how they felt about themselves, the consequences of what gossiping can actually do, because it's never just in a bubble, right? That stuff will get out. People will find out. People are judging you, especially if you're doing it in public and you don't think it's a big deal. So that's a low vibrational activity. I worked so hard years ago to just never gossip and never talk bad about other people in the industry by name. At least I still complain about the industry itself because I want to improve it. But I went through a whole phase where I just was always gritting my teeth at people that I knew were just scam artists, coaches, or mentors, or teachers, right? And I'm not the person that could ever say something by name and just gossip about them and attack them. But so I developed a method where I could talk about things in general and say, hey, these are the issues. How can we actually all come together collectively and make this better? From both the coach standpoint and the consumer standpoint, I would invite everybody in those comments so that people could say, what did you like about this? And how can this be improved? right? So how can you turn activities that you're partaking in that might be low vibrational and turn them into a higher vibe while also identifying what's happening to you in that moment and journeying through it and not bypassing it, but doing the work so that it can end up taking you to another level, right? Taking you to the next level. Yeah. I think some of your comments aren't popping up, guys, so I'm so sorry if I miss it. So I want you to try that out this week or going into the next week at least, and try to reframe when you beat yourself up a little bit for not being so positive all the time. Yeah? Okay, so instead of saying, I don't feel very positive about this, I don't know why I can't just be more positive about this, I don't know why I'm bringing myself down, don't beat yourself up. It's illogical to think that you won't have certain feelings that are considered negative. It's illogical and irrational to think that you're going to be positive all the time, right? So just reframe it. And if you feel like you're going through something that is bringing your vibe down, yeah, okay, journey through that, note it, see what you can learn from that, and see how you can take something that's low vibrational and actually find the work that you can do. I like to call it the change work or the homework that you can do in that moment, or maybe it would take a while, and then so that you can transcend it and become more high vibe with it, right? So don't expect yourself to be positive all the time. That would just be a little cuckoo. So I also wanted to share how this would all kind of go into the title that I had on the other video before we kind of got cut off there, about how this can all circle back to not playing the rules as it's laid out for us in society, right? Not playing the rules as it's laid out to us in the business world. So whatever game you're playing right now in life, there's rules. And I feel like, personally, as long as we're all being law-abiding citizens in whatever country we're living in, you don't have to actually play by any rules. You really, truly don't. If you're not harming anyone and you're not killing anyone and you're being a law-abiding citizen, who says that you have to play by any rule that exists anywhere for anything? You don't even have to play by the rules that I put in my own programs or courses. I only like to put things as what I call like roadmaps or blueprints, things that can save you time, because I've spent years and hundreds of thousands of dollars on certain things. So if you want to learn from someone like me, then yeah, that's great. But I never put things in terms of you have to do this. And sometimes I'll actually have to go back and update a program because I'll realize I might have just like slipped, and I'll use the word like should. You should do this if you want to get XYZ, right? But there's very few things in life that I truly believe that you have to listen to anyone who says you should do this or you must do this. And let's kind of broaden up law-abiding to also sensical, but I think that still goes back to like if you're harming anyone. So for example, you maybe should listen to your doctor, right? If you're pregnant, for example. I saw something very interesting where this woman was trying to convince her friend that drinking while pregnant was like totally fine. I don't know what she was citing, something that she read. She was adamant about trying to convince everybody in the friend group that drinking was okay, and smoking and drinking at the same time was okay for her unborn child. So I think she was drunk while trying to tell that. This isn't a friend of mine. I was witnessing it on video. But yeah, so that's probably an example. So, I mean, we can use our brains for this, right? So as long as you're not harming anyone, there's very, very few things in life where you actually have to follow the rule system for that. So the prompts that I gave you guys today that we're going to be talking about before we wrap up this live will bring this all together, which is what rules are you following right now that you feel like you have to? Okay, and this can be in life, or if you have a business, this can be in business. So I want you to just like word vomit on me right now in the comments. Caitlin says she's stressed about the story that she just shared. I honestly walked away from that conversation. Again, it was video, it's not my friends, but I was watching it and I was just like, this is probably an inside joke among friends. I'm sure this is not like a real thing. It's like, you know, when some women want to like get attention, and so they'll just say like really outlandish stuff. But yeah, so we'll table that for now because I highly doubt that there are really women out there that are smoking and drinking unless they're living into like a really impoverished area and don't have any kind of education and have really horrible doctors and got pregnant really young and just naive. I mean, there's got to be crazy situations for that to really happen. But yeah, so I want you guys to word vomit on me right now in the comments. If you're watching the replay, hey, sorry for my background, but put hashtag replay. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this as a replay, but answer this question for me now. Just whatever comes to mind. What are some rules that you're playing by right now in life? It could be anything. Whatever comes to mind. You stop at traffic lights when they turn red. Drop that in the comments. You eat 3 meals a day because someone somewhere since you were born told you you have to do that, right? Kaylin says, I feel like I'm pretty high vibe except for how I get stuck on this belief that I should be further along in my biz. I work hard to have a practice of always honoring and validating my feelings and experiences first and then reframe. Yeah, Kaylin, it's definitely going to be a process too. So that's what I was saying first, is that the expectations are part of this whole thing. That's also a rule I feel like as well. Like, who says at what timeline that you should be further along? Who creates that? Who creates that ideal that a trajectory is universal? So who says that if you don't make it by year 2 in your business that you're a failure, or that you should change something else, or that you should pivot, or that you shouldn't stick with it long enough to keep seeing if maybe the 3rd year is when things are just going to blow up, right? So these are all things that we have to actually keep digging. And I mentioned this on the last live, like the Russian doll within the Russian doll within the Russian doll. Keep digging when you realize these things that you're telling yourself. So even if you feel like you're a high vibe person, the belief that you should feel like you should be further along, where does that come from? And I'm sure you know the answer to that, actually. we again probably just don't give ourselves enough time and space to answer these out loud or actually write them down or talk about them with friends, but I'm absolutely positive, especially knowing Kaylin, that she already has the answer to that. Okay, so let's get back on this. I want you to drop every single rule that is coming to your mind, and I'm not going to let up on this until I see everything. I'm going to stay on this for like 60 more seconds. Every rule that you can think of that you're playing by in life and business right now. So whether it's personally, what you should be doing for health, fitness, beauty. When COVID started, who didn't shave? Who didn't shave? Who did not shave and felt good about it? Oh my God, right? Okay? That patriarchal rule is so annoying. It drives me crazy. Move to France, who didn't shave? All of France, right? They're totally fine. So it's a cultural and societal rule that we place on ourselves that will literally stress us the F out, make us anxious, just completely upend our day. Like I can't even count on, I would need 10 hands to count how many times I realized I had a date and forgot to shave. Like, because if it wasn't for men, I would not be thinking of these little tiny things that I have to do before getting ready, right? But it's a rule that if I want to be the most attractive, if I want to be optimally the most presentable, then I got to get rid of my armpit hair, got to get rid of my leg hair. And if I'm feeling really cheeky and I think you might have a chance, then I have to also like have the most perfect bikini line. Just thinking about it drives me insane, really, honestly. So I want all the stuff, personal, relationship, business. Drop every single rule you can have, and then I want you to look at the other comments and see if you missed one because you start nodding your head in agreement and realizing, oh yeah, girl, me too. Me too. So sexual rules, personal rules, health rules, beauty rules, business rules, educational rules, motherhood rules, the roles that you play in life, employee, mother, daughter, sister, friends, right? Partner, head of household rules, right? Are you doing laundry all the time? Can't break that boundary. Boundary rules, I want you guys to drop all of them in the comments. All of them, because it will be so fascinating to see actually in writing if we can remove ourselves just for a second, just hover outside of ourselves and see how surface level some of these things are. Some of them just require a conversation to be able to change them. Some of them will require deep programming, maybe all the way back to our inner child. Some of them we could literally just end them right now though. That would be exciting, right? Especially if they're rules that you don't actually want to be playing by. So you could maybe take a step back and just hover over yourself, have an existential moment, and realize, wait, why? Why have I been torturing myself with this for so long? What's the alternative to this belief that I think I have to play by this rule? So let me see if I can spot some of them that we can actually change on this live today and release ourselves. And I actually have a cool ritual that I want to do. I think it's a moon ritual, but I'm going to turn it into like an evergreen ritual. And some of them you might know, the ones I'm going to recommend, like burning things, writing them down and burning it. So let's see what we can find that you all might have in common that we're going to just release here today on this live stream. Okay, so Kaylin said the rule that she needs to post every day. Boom, great first example. Who invented this rule? Somewhere out there in the ether of social media land and media in general, because blogging could be posting as well, emailing is the same thing. Someone said if you want to get XYZ result, you've got to do it this way. So Kaylin, if you can actually remember where you might have first come in contact to this rule, I would love to know. If you can remember that far back, let me know where you might have first experienced and tapped into this idea that you had to post every day. And I'm assuming you mean for business. She follows that up with, I need to get in your Insta stories 10 times a day. Yeah, whoever told you that you had to post on Instagram stories 10 times a day, whew, child. So I feel you, I can empathize. Just imagine for a second if you had two Kaylins on the planet, right? And this goes for all of you guys. You had two Kaylins, and one was posting the required rule-ish 10 times a day because when the world of Instagram first started, that was the most optimal, right? And obviously there wasn't just that. It was, and if you could post it at these times when trends and analytics show that you would get this result and you get the most engagement. So imagine if you had this person doing the 10 times a day, but also never did anything to go and supplement that. Didn't do the market research, never really aligned themselves with who their soulmate clients really truly are, never aligned themselves with the kind of business that they want, what freedom means to them, what financial independence actually means to them. They didn't do any of that, but they jumped to the strategy. They jumped to the tactic. Post 10 times a day. I don't care what it is, just post 10 times a day. And then you have this person over here who was like, F that. I'm not about that. I want to post the most aligned things when I feel like I want to post them. And it's going to be for the exact people that I know is about this content, that I know is here for this kind of content. You could post the singular most powerful quote, announcement, promotion, anything, as opposed to the 10 times from the person that has nothing to back it up. There's nothing behind the 10 posts. There's no substance. There's no one really truly listening, right? You might see the little thing on the bottom that says, yeah, 30 people looked at this today, but they're not really there, yeah? So 1 against 10, the difference is, what does it mean to you? Why are you doing these things? Is it aligned? Do you actually want to be doing them? What's the reason? What's the why? What's the purpose? What's the result that you're trying to get, yeah? Lori said I spend more time looking for a traditional job, and she put that in quotes, than building my business because of my family pressure since they don't think I'll be able to pay my bills with my business. Lori, you guys, none of you are alone in these feelings. None of you are alone in these thoughts and these circumstances. I've experienced this, but I know so many clients I can think of, just their name alone comes to mind. But I definitely experienced this. And that's what's funny too, is I was reading this article about this woman who had this horrible relationship with her father and another family member who kept on constantly badgering her and mentally abusing her, or emotionally abusing, I guess more is the term there. And just saying that she was not going to amount to anything, that she could never ever be a health coach, and that why would she go after something so, non-conforming, as opposed to just going in the real medical field, trying to go get her doctoral degree and doing stuff that's normal, get a normal job, have a normal career path. And for years, she didn't have enough funds to live on her own, so she was still living with family and had to listen to all this emotional abuse and just them beating her up mentally, that she was never going to amount to anything unless she did it their way. That's a lot that you have to then deprogram, right? And come down from and realize that you are going to just answer to them and live their life for them. Or you can say, but I want to truly exit from this rule, from this burden that you're putting on me. Why would you ever want to live the one life that you have for other people? Even for your children. Honestly, and that's a whole other conversation. But for family members, for spouses, for partners, for loved ones, why wouldn't you live your life if they can go and live their life? If they believe so much fundamentally that the only way to have a great life is to have a normal job, blue collar, white collar, whatever, then why don't you turn that back around and say, hey, I'm glad you think that. Go get one. Oh, here's Indeed. Do you need help with your resume? Like, just tell them thank you for the advice, unsolicited, I'm assuming. But if you believe that so much, I would be happy to help you find a job. Okay? That's not what I'm here for. Because if I'm lucky, I get like 70 years on the planet and I don't have time to waste trying to live for you and what you believe in. I want to see what I can accomplish and what I can muster up the courage to do. Right? Because there's a whole other future self of you that's living her fucking high vibe, awesome, successful, free life, right? Just living it up, and you can actually go in that direction, or you can listen to other people and their bullshit rules and just excuses of why you need to be a mini-me to them. Kaylin said I should reply to comments within like half an hour to get my posts in front of more people. Kaylin, tag me right now on this comment. I have something for you. On this comment that you left about replying to people in half an hour, tag me right now. I have something for you for that. And I think because you're my girl, you vibe with me, so I think you're gonna like it. Yeah, the timing thing, right? That's another one. So half an hour. Isn't that such a bogus rule? Where do these things come from? And this is not to Kaylin directly, obviously. This is just in general. These rules are so bogus. Where do they actually come from? So if we were to stop and think about this for a second, where just if we had to grasp from thin air, from anywhere in the universe, is there a book like timing of responses for dummies? Where do these things actually come from? And to go with that, do we genuinely believe that the billions of people on the planet are all in agreement and actually in their life right now replying to people within 30 minutes? Are there people in the world that are living a happy, fulfilled, successful life by their definition and their standards that are not replying to people within 30 minutes? Are they in fact replying to people within a day? 30. I remember when I used to collect like different newsletters and autoresponders from businesses when I really was trying to take my like training of my employees seriously, because I wanted us to have like standards, so an operations manual, and I just wanted to see what's out there and what people did. And for the most part, in the beginning, I think I was still in my 20s, like later 20s when I started to pay attention to this. The standard at that time was really like, we'll get back to you within 24 hours, of course, right? But the more I started to get into people that were more aligned with me, brands and businesses and corporations that were more aligned with me, the more I would see autoresponders that said, we will try to get back to you within 3 to 5 days. And I was like, whoa, 3 to 5 days? Wait a minute. Like, I'm trying to check on my order that I don't really need, but I just want to make it a big deal and complain about something. I need that right now. So that just blew my mind. I was like 3 to 5 days, or they would put it in hours to make it sound better. So we try to get back to you within 72 hours. And what I love about that is they would still use the word try before the words 72 hours. So you still really wouldn't know if you would in fact get a response within 3 days. So I just thought that was hilarious, and the confidence that takes, right? Because you're not coming out the gate thinking that you're going to be the person that's like the outcast or the not normal, non-conforming, non-status quo person and just be like, yeah, 72 hours. No, you build up confidence to get to that where your audience accepts you for who you are and they know, okay, maybe we probably are just not going to hear from her. But yes, so all these comments that you guys are posting, think about where did they come from personally for you. If you can tap into the memory of when you actually saw yourself looking at this rule in the universe and then you adapted and attached yourself to this rule, attached yourself to the rule and then adapted it into your life, integrated it and implemented it into your life without any conversation with yourself. And I'm a huge fan of having conversations with yourself, so don't get me wrong here. You didn't have any conversation to yourself, to your soul, to your spirit guides to say, hey, does this align with what we want to do with our life or our business right now? Probably not. Lori, typical, be nice and put others first. Typical patriarchy mindset. blame it on them. Blame it on the patriarchy. That is a very common thing for women to feel like they have to always be down here. There is most definitely a hierarchy when it comes to sexes and gender roles. So putting other people before yourself is a rule. So if we had to dig into that one, and that one's going to be different for everybody. That's personal to so many different people based on what you're going through. If you have a family, and family meaning like kids. So certain people you feel like you would be guilty if you didn't put them first, or you would be called selfish. Who's been labeled selfish? Anybody? Anybody? You're labeled selfish automatically if you don't do things by everybody else's definition or standard, right? So you have to put other people first so that you can feel like you're playing by the rules and you're accepted and you're not weird or you're not neglectful or you're not a horrible person. Lori said she also stopped wearing a bra thanks to COVID. And I have figured out ways to get away with that. This is, I can't really see because all the comments, so I'm gonna look on the other video. But I don't know if you guys can see if the video is going down that far. Bra free right now. So I have figured out ways to make it work. You guys, it's amazing. So it may look like it's secured, and it is, but mama's having a lot of fun not having to have underwire right now. Yes, Priscilla. I'm sure Kaylin agrees with you on yours. Priscilla says, always respond to every single message. I wish I could show you one of the many journals that I have over on my desk where I wrote, what do I want to define as my amount of messages that I respond to. So I have two. I have what Kaylin said in terms of the time. How long do I want to take as a standard? If I even really want to have standards, that's also another conversation. Do I want to have standards in my business, or do I just want it to be soul aligned? So how many messages do I respond to, and in what time frame do I respond to messages? And I think it's totally fine to have the freedom to compartmentalize and categorize these things. So for my clients, I put in my autoresponders, if you are a student, a current client, or a customer, you are VIP. You can feel free to respond to this autoresponder and change the subject to urgent if you need a priority access to me. And that is a category that I totally honor. If it's just a random person that wants advice from me for free, which is totally fine, but I like to say the word free because some advice I give out, but it's because it's paid, then why would I burden myself to feel like I have to respond to all these people that obviously see me living my life, feeling successful, making money, and I have dozens of messages that I have to reply to them? Because if I don't, then when I go to lay my head on the pillow, does that mean I'm a bad person? Maybe not everybody knows, but I know that I'm a bad person because I didn't respond to these people. And if my whole mission is to empower women and make the world a better place, then I would respond to all these messages and not just respond to them, but like within 30 minutes of them sending it to me in the DMs. Like, I'm only one person. So the guilt tripping and the beating myself up over that is not going to get me to fulfilling my mission. I have to have a conversation with myself and realize, what's the best way to go about this? What practice can I follow? What can I implement? Is it that I need to up the amount of money that I want to call in so that I can expand my budget and my expenses and hire more people to help me with this? Is it that I am going to truly tell myself that I'm going to be the person that will never be guilted into the fact that I have 100 unread messages from people that are saying such beautiful and wonderful and complimentary things, but I just simply don't have the time to respond to them? Do I feel bad or guilty that those beautiful, complimentary, wonderful things that people are sending me that are strangers, that I would have a team member respond to them as opposed to me? All of this is totally valid things for you to talk to yourself about, journal out, meditate on, so that you can find where you want to insert yourself in this and create your rule, play by your rule and not some other person's manual. There's no way you'll ever hear me say in a program that you absolutely should do this or that, this direct way for things of this nature. It's unfathomable to me that anyone can say that you have to do 10 stories a day and you have to reply to every DM that you ever get, and it needs to be within 1 hour or you'll never make money in your business. It's ridiculous. And I know you guys know that too. Always be nice even if it's a bad day, Priscilla. So Priscilla and Lori, you guys are linking up. And then I see Erica down here, a couple of comments, always smile. Same thing, right? Women, we're just here to have the boobs, shaved legs, and smile all the time. So being beautiful, sexy, clean shaven, smiling, and selfless all the time. That's only a few things. We haven't even gone down the whole list of what patriarchy wants us to do to be considered playing by the rules and normal. I should follow the clarity call script that I have written out. Yes. Kaylin, that I should be making money before I leave my 9 to 5. Girl, preaching to the choir. Same thing. Totally heard that. That is such a great way to trap people in to the belief that they have to have everything figured out. But there's no one that exists on the planet that has everything figured out, because I don't actually know of a mind reader and a psychic that knows every single thing down to the T. So if even psychics, true actual psychics, don't even know every single thing that's going to happen, if they just only know the gist of it, who on earth could tell you that you have to listen to someone else about how you want to quit your job? Your exit plan and your escape plan is your own plan. It's about how you feel. I know that Kelsey went through our Clarity Cash program. She was going through the same thing. Totally was just like, F this, nah, I'm here for leaving because I feel like this is when I should leave. And guess what? All of a sudden, she sold her house for way more than she was expecting, made a profit on that sale, moved, left town, and was able to invest in her business because universe responded. Now, it's not going to be always that fluffy as that, and we don't need to take it that woo-woo because there's still practical things in that. But still, there's no one that should tell you how you should come up with your escape plan. You know in your body what you're capable of and what you're willing to put yourself through. And if you assess all the consequential things that could happen, you know, like I said in the last live or the last call, if the worst thing that could possibly happen to you on a human level, right? Because the spirit level is something completely different. But on the human level, if the worst thing that could ever happen is that you go homeless and hungry or abused, I only have 2 hands, so homeless or hungry, then all the other alternatives are totally worth risking things for to see if the reward is worth the risk, right? Because I've actually gone homeless and I've gone hungry, and the reward was totally worth the risk. It doesn't feel good. Obviously, it would be great to like not have to go through these things, but no one can tell you how you should set up your own escape plan. Kaylin also says I should process my trauma by talking it out. Erica, that traditional job means stability in regular life. This is what's stopping me from starting my own business since it's been badgered into your brain. That it means stability in a regular life. I had a whole blog on this. A whole blog before I decided that I was going to be that digital nomad and be location independent and move to Europe. And obviously I was an American in Europe, so there was no way that I was really going to land a great, wonderful, perfect job right away. At least that was my belief system at the time. Anything is possible, but I didn't want an hourly job. I didn't want a salary job. And what I guess I really meant at the time was I didn't want to be employed by anyone. That's what I truly meant, but I wasn't saying that. So I definitely can empathize with you, Erica, because the idea of stability and regular is defined by other people. You get to choose what stability and security and reliability feels like and means to you. And for me, because I have so much confidence, because I've done so many things and I felt like I've lived 9 lives, I was confident enough to take a leap and to move to other countries without having a stable plan or the financial security, because I believed in myself and what I was capable of overcoming anything that would get in the way of me having my necessities and my basics and just feeling like a fulfilled person. So what does stability mean to you? And you define it and choose that. And then I would love to hear what that means. And regular life, let's take the word regular and normal out of everybody's vocabulary. No more listening to people that say regular or normal to us. Next time someone comes to you and says, hey, I don't like this idea that you have about leaving your job, or I really don't like how you're working on your personal development, this is not normal, or what are you doing with your financial situation? That's not stable enough. Say, hey, thank you, but you're blocking my blessings. Sorry. Super blunt. Just tell them, thank you so much for your unsolicited advice. I so appreciate it, but you're blocking my blessings. So if you could just, thank you. Just let them know, right? We don't have time to live other people's lives on their definitions. Okay, what else did you guys share? Hey. Yes. Okay, so I see a lot of you having overlapping rules, that the DMs are key to getting ideal clients, and that the phone is great for clarity calls. Literally no 7-figure mentors that I work with right now that have never done sales or clarity calls in the last 5 years. 7 figures, making 7 figures. They barely have funnels. All they do is just share their message in email, on Facebook, when they feel like it, with whatever they feel like sharing. Never do calls. Never do calls. And I've even went through a person that they responded to my DM, said one sentence, and then you could clearly see that the assistant took over the conversation. And I didn't feel slighted. I didn't feel like, whoa, that's really weird. That's disingenuous. That's not authentic. That's not personable. No, because I'm her ideal soulmate client. I'm her prospect that totally knows what I'm dealing with. I was like, this is a badass bitch I'm dealing with. I'm so thankful and honored that she responded to me the first time. It's totally fine that now her 2 assistants are here taking over the rest of the conversations for the next 3 days while I ask all the questions I can possibly think of. Because I'm her soulmate client. I'm supposed to be there. I know what's going on. I'm there knowing that she is doing a million other things, and for her to continue to have all these conversations with the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people in her various communities would just be illogical of me. And do you actually want to attract people who are going to judge you for things that you know are not truly disingenuous or inauthentic? No, you don't want to work with those people. We want to get rid of the desperation energy, right? That's what we were working on last time. So all of this is a cycle. All of these things warrant you giving it real time and space to think about. So when you're beating yourself up about this, or guilt tripping yourself up over it, or you're feeling selfish, or you're feeling like I'm doing something wrong, I'm not enough, I'm not correct, I'm not right, I'm not normal, I'm not XYZ bullshit based on somebody else's rules or standards, ancestors' rules or standards, the universe's rules or standards, not the good universe, the bad universe, right? Then keep doing that Russian doll syndrome. Keep asking, getting to the why do I feel this way? Because if you're so worried about the rules that you think you should be playing by, you might be attracting the people that don't belong in your orbit, that you don't want to have to deal with, because you're being someone that's not truly you. When you show up to the world and you show up to the universe being not your true self, doing things that you don't truly desire, you attract those types of people that don't belong there. And I had to learn that. I fired people. I had so many about I had to give them the boot. Okay, that was some good money I had to let go of. But the old me attracted that. I totally attracted these people because I was not showing up as my true authentic self. And we talked about this before. Now I am. You see it. I changed the name of the group. I changed the description. I've been putting all this content 4, 5, 6 times a day on my personal walls, on my Instagram, because I am here for the people that are here for me, the real me, the crazy purple hair, which is not really crazy. I love it. The colorful self, you know, always was wearing like sparkly eyeshadow, the unicorn lifestyle, the lover of pink, even though I'm way too old by some people's definition, right? I still love baby pink. I can't wait to have a little girl because she's in for it, right? So I'm attracting those people now that I'm showing up as this person. The past self, I was never going to truly define success and fulfillment being that past person when I was in my 20s. I was never going to be living the life that was really truly in my soul, and I wasn't really articulating because I was too scared or I was too shy. I wasn't embodying it. I was never ever going to get the life that my soul really, really, truly wanted because I wasn't showing up as the person that deserved to have that yet. I wasn't earning that. And a lot of us are doing that to ourselves in so many different situations. We're not earning the future self that we really want to be. We're still playing in this current self, which is still kind of actually your past self, that's not going to allow or attract all the future blessings, all the future opportunities, the synchronicities that feel so random and like luck. No, you're designing that. You have the freedom, you have the complete and total power to design what opportunities and windows you're opening up for your future self right now, here in this moment. So we're gonna end this with, I want you guys all to drop a commitment statement. You know how I love commitment statements and intention statements. I want you all to say that I commit to not playing by other people's rules from here on out. I commit to not playing by other people's rules from here on out. And this is really, it needs to be a bigger statement, but we're here on a live. So what we really mean by this, as long as we're not intentionally hurting people or harming people, we're not neglecting people, truly, you know, the people that matter. So even that's babies or clients or spouses or lovers or friends, anything. As long as we're not bringing harm to people, that we're not doing that intentionally, we don't need to play by any other person's rules in our journey to get to our future self that's living the ideal, fulfilled life that we want to be living, right? You don't have to play by anybody's rules. So long as you're the law-abiding citizen that I know all of you guys are, the beautiful, amazing, powerful people that I've witnessed every single one of you in your different ways show up as this powerful person. Even Priscilla, I got a compliment for you that I will tell you privately. But I'm always spying on you guys. I love it. I love seeing you. You all are amazing. You don't have time to play by other people's rules. We absolutely have no idea how long any of our lives are going to be. So it's morbid to think about the deathbed, but you don't want to be on the deathbed saying, I'm so glad that I did everything my parents wanted me to do. I'm so glad that I never ever went after my dreams after I had a kid. Oh my God, thank you. I am so glad that I listened to everything my husband told me I should be as a woman. Thank God I listened to that. No, that is not what you're going to be saying, okay? You're going to pop out of that open casket being like, wait, I need one more year. Y'all got me all fucked up, right? You're going to be like, no, take backsies, okay? So I commit to not playing by other people's rules except for my own. And now what I want you to also supplement that with is an intention statement of, I intend to have conversations with myself to truly define what the rules are that I want to play by. What are my rules? I intend to have deep conversations with myself. In whatever practice you're going to end up doing this, journaling, meditating, walking meditations, I love walking meditations. I intend to have conversations with my soul, with myself, to figure out what life do I want to design? What rules do I want to play by? What rules do I want to play by? I want to live my life in the way where I wake up at this time, I do this, I eat this, I look like this way, and nobody's going to tell me anything. Well, they are going to tell you stuff, but you're going to be ready with the resilience bat. Knock it out of the park when it comes to you. It's going to be a journey. Easier said than done. All of this is going to be a journey. It's not going to be super easy. This is not an overnight thing, right? To just all of a sudden say, hey, I'm living in this super crazy world where so many things are set upon me and burdening me and on my shoulders from society and my culture and my religion and the politics. But I'm just going to overnight wake up and be like, I don't give zero fucks. No, that's not going to happen. But it's a process. And you're going to make an intention. You're intending right now that you're going to have a conversation after this live, starting tonight, and you're going to say, I intend to have a conversation with myself, with my soul. Please, spirit guides, please, universe, please, intuition, come to me in this moment and tell me, what are the rules that I want to define for myself? How do I want to show up and live life? How do I want to show up and do business? Please, please, please give me some signs, give me some answers, steer me in the right direction, and give me the courage to go after that, okay? Because I know it's going to be hard, universe. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be difficult. I know there's going to be resistance, not from me because I'm ready. I have courage. I'm going to get resistance from people that are okay with playing it small, that are okay with mediocre living, that are okay with telling other people how to live their life, but they don't do fucking shit to change theirs and be better. No. And we're talking about even if this is people you love, okay? We have to be self-aware to know that we might be married to or have kids or have parents that they're not into personal development. They're not trying to better themselves in all these different categories. And that's fine. We love them anyway. And we can love them from afar too. Or we might not have a great relationship and we're okay with that. A great relationship with parents or something like that. Or friends. Or we have to cleanse ourselves from certain relationships. Get rid of all the blocks. Yeah? So you intend to have this conversation starting today, daily conversations and whatever practice you want. If that's morning page journaling, if that's anytime you go walk and take the trash, you steal an extra 5 minutes for yourself before you have to go back in and breastfeed or something, right? You just start having conversations with yourself. How do I want to show up? Because there's no one who has the power to tell me that I have to play by a certain rule, because who are they? Who are they? As long as you are abiding by the law and not harming anyone, who is anyone to tell you that you have to play by a certain rule for your life or for your business? Literally, who are they? Even Obama, as much as I'm waiting for that divorce to go through and for him to come find me, sorry, I'm just kidding, I love Michelle and him together. Even if it was Obama landed in my room right now, Obama and Jesus still couldn't tell me how to run my business because I'm not trying to live by something that is going to take me out of my authenticity. So I would have to say, in the next life, maybe we'll have a chat. Sorry, Jesus. Sorry, Obama. But no one could tell me something that's going to feel inauthentic to me. And I want you guys to have the same strength as well. You already are super strong. But if this is something you're working on, if imposter syndrome is something you're battling, if fear of failure or success is something you're battling, if feeling selfish is something you're battling, if feeling unstable or not normal enough is something that you're battling, you're going to have to put on the armor of give zero fucks. Yeah, you're going to have to join us in that ship of give zero fucks and start to design the rules that you want to play by. I promise you it's so much more exciting on that side of the field, okay? Instead of listening to everybody that's seeping into your brain telling you how to live their life. That's basically you're signing on to be their assistant. They want to have extra lives by living through you, okay? You listening to other people is just being a servant to them. You're just being a servant to other people so that they could see how it would be like if they tried this or that, keeping you on a short leash. So it's 2020. We're not servants to anyone. Okay, I love that. Erica said, I intend to have deep conversations with myself to figure out what life I want to design and what rules I want to play by. I love it. I love it. I would even type that and print it out and put it in a little 8x10 frame. Yes. Kaylin said, I'm not even a fan of laws. I speed all damn day. I'm going to like that even though I'm such an enabler. Okay, guys, and of course, just right on time, we have my phone running out of battery. And look, this time the hunger just totally left my body because I'm having so much fun with you ladies. Okay, so that's it for Girls Night In, our belated happy hump day. I'm so excited for this to go post in the group, so anyone that's watching the replay, see, I was about to say you know the rule. You know what it is in the group. Put hashtag replay, drop it in the comments, answer those questions for us, and I would love to see your responses. So I'm going to leave this here for you, the prompts that I gave earlier in the group. Oh my gosh, my computer's dying too. When does that ever happen? They're really trying to keep us apart today. We are not letting that happen, guys. Look at this background. Unbelievable. I look like a hot mess right now. I'm so glad you guys still accept and appreciate me. Okay, so the prompt that I posted in the group today. What does freedom mean to you? What does freedom mean to you? What would freedom look like for you? And of course, you always know how I say, dream big, stream of conscious answers, no judging yourself, no censoring yourself, whatever comes to mind. What does freedom mean to you? And what would that actually look like? So if you're new to visualization, that means use all your 5 senses. What would it actually show up and look like in that future version of your life? What would freedom mean for you? So I know, Erica, this is especially for you too. If people are in your ear telling you this is what stability looks like, what does freedom look like for you? Tell them to just give you a second. Pause, right? You're in the middle of my blessings coming to me. Back up for 1 second. So what does it look like for you to have freedom? And what would you absolutely 100% love to not give any fucks about anymore? What would you add to your list of 0 fucks right now if you had all the courage in the world and you didn't have to answer to anyone? No boss, no spouse, no kid, no parent, no friend, no one, not even your dog, okay? So what would you absolutely love to add to your list? of I don't give a fuck about this anymore. For me, I realized not shaving. I was not dating because I just didn't have time. But I still was seeing friends. And of course, in that friend group were males. And I still was showing up with my nails not done, with my legs not shaved. Because it was on my list of, I don't give zero fucks right now. I'm sharing a message. I'm on a mission. I'm a woman with a mission. I don't have time for you feeling uncomfortable because my hair is darker on my skin tone. And so you can see it and you feel some kind of way. I don't have a ring on my finger, honey. Beyonce said it. So maybe if there's diamonds involved, I'd think about it and consider it. But I would love to hear everybody's list. I hope that you post it in the group too, not just here in the comments. What is on your list of I don't have time for this anymore. I don't have time for this person, for this thought, for this belief system, for this status quo. I don't give zero fucks anymore about these things. If you can get to a list of 10, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a part 2 of this and we're gonna talk about liberation and how we can make an action plan for you to actually embody that person that doesn't give zero fucks about those things. So try really hard to do a list of 10 things. I wanna hear them and I want you to come back to this live. I'm gonna post it right now in the group and you'll come back in the comments, share what does freedom mean to you and what does it actually look like. Journal on it, do your meditation walks, whatever practices you guys love to do, visualization, mirror work, just standing in the mirror and saying, freedom feels like, freedom looks like, I define freedom as, and then I am not having any more time for patriarchal bullshit. I have no more time for domestic goddess rules. I want to order takeout instead of cooking today, and I'm not going to be made guilty about that. My kids still love me, okay? So I want to hear all of it. So you have 3 questions there, guys. That's your change work for today, how I like to call homework. And I am going to go have my Wendy's salad because I like to blend the classy with the ratchet. I had such little time to figure out how to eat right after this live. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted my food to get here in 5 minutes. And that was my plan. And no one's gonna make me feel bad about that. I do feel a little ratchet ordering from Wendy's, but I'm gonna be super happy eating it, so I really don't care. But I know when I tell certain friends, they're just like, Wendy's? Oh. I mean, at least I don't go to McDonald's, but Wendy's actually has salads that people would want to eat. Like, it's edible. McDonald's, no. Okay, guys, I am off to have dinner. I hope that you continue to enjoy your evening or your job if you're still at work. I know a couple of you guys are. Enjoy your beverages if you brought some to this girls' night in. I'm so excited that we did this. I can't wait to see the rest of your answers. That's what I'm really going to be looking forward to. So I'm definitely going to be popping back here in an hour to see if anyone shares their journaling from those prompts that I gave you. And I'll see you back here in the comments. Wendy's is good as hell, Caitlin says. I knew it. She's my girl. We totally get each other. Soulmate sisters from different misters. All right, ladies. And thanks so much for the new faces, too. I love everybody that came on today. Tashelle, Erica, newbie. So I hope you join us next week for #HumpDay Happy Hour. We'll be here on Wednesday, same time, same place in the group at 5:30 or 6 p.m. It just depends on if people are working. But I'll see you in the comments. Bye, guys. Love you.